Imagine fighting a war one day and playing football with your enemy the next. Before we dive into the story, please do well to like and subscribe for more interesting stories like this. December 1914. Just 5 months after the outbreak of World War I, the Western Front had become a frozen wasteland of mud, barbed wire, and death. British and German soldiers faced each other across a narrow strip of land known as No Man's Land. Many had expected the war to be over by Christmas. Instead, they found themselves trapped in a conflict that would change the world forever. As Christmas Eve arrived, something unexpected happened. Along parts of the German front line, soldiers placed small Christmas trees on the edges of their trenches. Candles flickered in the darkness, casting a warm glow over a battlefield usually lit by gunfire. Then, voices rose into the cold winter night as German troops began singing Christmas carols. British soldiers listened in silence. Across No Man's Land came familiar melodies, including the beloved hymn Silent Night. Soon, voices from the British trenches joined in. For the first time in months, the sounds of war were replaced by music. Enemies who had never met were singing the same songs beneath the same winter sky. As Christmas morning dawned, cautious figures emerged from the trenches. At first, only a few stepped into No Man's Land. They expected danger. Instead, they found something extraordinary. British and German soldiers approached each other unarmed, exchanging greetings, handshakes, and smiles. The men who had spent months firing at each other suddenly found themselves face to face. Many discovered that they were remarkably alike. They shared stories of home, spoke about their families, and laughed despite the language barriers. For a brief moment, the uniforms disappeared and only humanity remained. Soon, gifts began changing hands. Cigarettes, chocolate, tobacco, food, buttons, and photographs were exchanged across the battlefield. Some soldiers kept these items for the rest of their lives. They became reminders that even in war, compassion could survive. The truce also allowed soldiers to perform a task that had become nearly impossible. Together, British and German troops entered No Man's Land to recover and bury fallen comrades. Joint funeral services were held, prayers were spoken. For a few hours, grief united men who only days before had been trying to kill one another. Then came the moment that would become legendary. In several sectors of the front, soldiers produced footballs and began playing informal matches in the mud of No Man's Land. Historians still debate the exact details, but the image has endured for more than a century. Where gunfire once echoed, there was laughter. Where armies once clashed, there was a game. But the peace could not last. Military leaders on both sides viewed the truce with concern. Orders soon arrived, instructing soldiers to return to normal operations. Reluctantly, the men shook hands one final time and climbed back into their trenches. The war resumed. The guns fired once more. The Christmas Truce of 1914 did not end World War I. The conflict would continue for nearly 4 more years and claim millions of lives. Yet for one remarkable Christmas, ordinary soldiers proved that humanity could survive even in the darkest circumstances. Amid mud, barbed wire, and battle, enemies became friends, if only for a day. More than a century later, the Christmas Truce of 1914 remains one of history's most powerful reminders that peace is always possible, and that the people on opposite sides of a war often have far more in common than they realize. For one day, the war stopped. The guns fell silent, and in the middle of a battlefield, humanity won.